Most men don't realize that most girls in porn don't look that different from most girls they would see out at a nightclub. Most girls that you see at a nightclub have really tarted themselves up because the way they're going to get their validation is by having lots of men make fools of themselves trying to get these girls to be interested in them. It's a game that girls play. They tart themselves up, they get themselves modeling cards, little Z cards, or Z cards they're called here, to show the world that they could be a model. They work as a dental hygienist, or they work in a veterinary clinic, whatever. But they like to go out on the weekend and feel desirable, and feel, as they play their little game, having lots of men buy them drinks and ask them out and ask them for things, because they get to feel powerful by turning most people away. A girl who enjoys sex and would rather have sex with a guy who is at least semi-competent and isn't upset by the notion of other people seeing it because the rewards she's going to get are worth it, can be a porn star. Historically, most girls who were porn stars became porn stars because they loved sex and they loved being watched. True, authentic exhibitionist porn stars are my favorites. They're the most fun. But most of them aren't that. Most of them these days, and for the last 20 years, have been in relationships with guys who needed extra money as their drug habit or whatever. And so these girls figured the best way to bring a lot of extra money in was doing porn rather than turning tricks, because it was a lot more reliable, a lot safer. Mm-hmm. A lot of girls who were dancers at strip clubs or whatever became porn stars because they met girls who were porn stars, having a good time doing it. They figured, well, I'm going to be seen. I might as well be seen doing something more fun than this.
You're saying at the moment, like, you're going to pick these girls up in the club, you're going to pick these girls up in the strip club. They could all potentially be porn stars.
Any of them could be. All they need is the confidence to go ahead and do it, mm-hmm. and plenty of them do. Lots of girls become webcam girls and then migrate to being porn girls. So being a porn star, since there's no longer a barrier to entry, there's no longer a need for $50,000 plus to make a movie, and you can do it with your cell phone in a back of a Uber. Okay. The market has changed. The world has changed. Now, Violet was doing porn from 2006 and made a name for herself, established herself, and very, very well appreciated. But the industry was changing. By the time 2010 rolled around, most porn was for websites, and a lot of it was humiliation porn and degradation porn and girls being taken for granted or taken advantage of. And Violet was unwilling to be seen as a victim in any of her scenes. Every single thing, she meets someone and the two of them go about seducing each other and have a good time, and that's great. Or more than two of them. Okay?
And you met each other on set?
Oh no, I met her because
did you meet each other in that world?
Violet's ex-wife worked for someone I knew and knew that I was actively involved in the business.
Oh right, yeah, no, you did cover that.
Brought Violet to meet me, and because I was friends with Violet's ex, I said sure, happy to help. And then it didn't take very long to realize their relationship was very unhealthy for them both. It was full of posturing and projections, and Violet wanted something very, very different than her partner did. So their relationship terminated, and I was very well behaved. I thought the world of Violet. Violet had a big, big crush on me, but I did not want to either be seen as poaching, nor did I want to have a girlfriend. I actually was involved with a couple of girls who were in steady rotation around my place. When Violet broke it off with her partner, she had no place to go, so she called me up and said, can I come and crash with you? And I said, sure. So she came over and crashed with me and immediately began sleeping with all of my guy friends because she'd been out of the circuit. she'd not had a chance to dive on the cock carousel for some time.
Right.
And I was fine with it. I just wanted to have a good time. And so it was actually several months after she and her partner had split up, or her ex-wife had split up, before Violet and I actually ended up with one another. And I was not looking for a new primary in my life. I was not looking for that. It just so happened that we were such good friends and enjoyed each other so much. We just naturally congregated with each other. It's been informal until we started introducing each other to each other's parents, and became more and more significant. Violet is my partner, and my primary, if I'm masturbating, I invariably fantasize about Violet licking my cum off the faces of some other number of girls that I also enjoy. And fortunately, I got lots of video of that too, so I always throw that on. But as a general rule, life has been pretty grand,
Right.
because Violet is no different from any other person that I would involve myself with in a significant way. She is exceptionally intelligent. She has a terrific philosophical frame. She loves and respects herself. She's independently minded. She's all the things I would have in a friend. Loyal and ethical and of strong integrity. That she's also hot is nice. That she's also hot for me is particularly nice. And Violet, like all of my friends, recognizes that it's more fun to have lots of like-minded people around. So, by all means, I'm delighted when any of my friends likes or loves another of my friends enough that they can have some fun together. And it's actually funny. Lots of my friends are more bisexual than I ever realized. And I found out about it because they ended up hooking up with each other when I hadn't expected it. And this happens with girlfriends and guy friends. Like, whatever works. Wish I could join you. Not my thing.
Right.
So, as you get to be old, like I'm old, I've always said you're only as young as the women you feel. When a man becomes a true dirty old man, the first time he goes to bed with a girl who knows his age where he knows her age, and her age is less than half of his. And he becomes a certifiable dirty old man the first time he goes to bed with a pair of girls whose combined age is less than his. I've been able to do that and be to bed with girls
Fully certified.
with the girls where their combined mass is considerably less than mine too.
Right, okay.
It's like some people join Mensa and other people join Immensa. Immensa is for the heavier ones like me. I love women, and I love to help them free themselves from the tyranny of society that says, hey, guess what? You're either a slut, or you're a whore, or you're someone's property. Those are the only ways you can be any good. Only if someone's prepared to brand you as their own, after which you're free and can do what you like. One of the famous community people, Cliff of Cliff's List, told me once, a man is free until he marries. A woman becomes free when she marries. And there's an awful lot to be said about that.
Mm.
It's especially true where a girl imagines that she gets her security from daddy until hubby steps in. And hubby takes over as providing her security. And just like with daddy, her job is to keep daddy happy by telling him what he wants to hear and keeping him from finding out things he wouldn't like. And similarly with hubby. Tell hubby what he wants to hear, keep hubby from hearing things he wouldn't like. So I've been in bed with girls, not exaggerating, where the girls looked up at me after we've just completed an aggressively entertaining sexual time. I've gone off to the bathroom to soap up and heat a hot towel to help her get the cum off her face. And I'm walking out, and she goes, Johnny, you're the only person I can talk to about this. I really want your advice. There's this guy at work I really like. like, and I know he likes me too, and I really like to hook up with him, but I just can't bring myself to cheat on my husband. And I said, well, just if I were to ask this question, just to make sure I understand, if your husband would have walked in on us about, let's say, 10 minutes ago, would he have thought you were cheating? Oh, that didn't count. What are you talking about? I said, tell me what you mean. He said, well, look, that's never going to happen. It's not the point. You've never once mentioned this husband to me before.
Right.
If this husband had walked in, what would his take have been? She said, relax, it's not like we were doing anything wrong. I said, okay, please explain that to me. She said, look, you're not going to leave Violet for me. You're not going to be my man. Okay? You don't count. We're just having fun. My husband's not at any risk of losing me to you. I said, okay, so what your husband gets out of this is the public acknowledgement of his having a wife. Do you think your husband might be angry in his mind if he had walked in thinking that I'm getting the pussy he thinks he's paying for? Because I'm pretty confident that most men look at it that way.
Yeah.
This is the reason why men get angry at the other guy rather than at the woman when they catch their girl with another guy. Okay? Now, the offensive parts of this are in every direction. Right? That's not what the relationship is supposed to be about. And it should be well understood by both parties. That's not what the relationship is supposed to be about. But to me, it's very straightforward. As I say, I could not be with a partner where her existence relied upon my paying for it. That wouldn't be a partnership. That would be, I had a pet. And just like with a pet, most girls have been raised their entire lives, think their job is to go out and find someone who'll keep them as a pet. When they're little girls, if they get in a car accident, daddy pays for it. Daddy pays for their insurance. You know, daddy solves the problem. The idea of actually needing to be an adult responsible for oneself. This is pretty far afield for a lot of people. It's not because women can't be. It's because they're not raised to be. They don't even understand that it's an option. And so I am completely a traditional, real-life, original series feminist. I think women and men are much less different than we are the same. And I treat women exactly the same way as I treat men, with the exception of the ejaculation on faces. I treat women with the expectation that they're adults, that they make their own decisions, that they're autonomous and therefore have both authority over themselves and responsibility for how things play out. It's the only way I'm prepared to deal with them.
I think that's a nice note to end it on.
Certainly.
Yeah.
You had wanted to ask me a little about my history and how actively I had been in the adult business, and whether there was an advantage for people to go this route. And I'll tell you something that makes sense. This is the valuable part. Every woman will be just as naughty as she believes she can get away with.
I agree. Yeah.
A man who recognizes and appreciates this does not look at a woman and think she's less valuable to him or to the world because she enjoys her sexuality and uses it. Will always find himself much happier, having a much better time, and with a girl who is prepared to do much more aggressive, much more quote-unquote outrageous things, because he's prepared to offer her non-judgmental acceptance. That's a magical phrase, non-judgmental acceptance. Women almost never, ever receive non-judgmental acceptance, not even from their dearest friends. Their dearest friends are full of contempt and judgment for them, even if they don't even realize it. When a man can offer true non-judgmental acceptance, hey, you're going to be the way you are. I'm good with that. I encourage you to enjoy yourself. You want to have someone you want someone to tie you up and spank you? Hey, it's probably not going to be me, but knock yourself out. You want to climb on someone's chest and take a dump? Definitely not going to be me, but knock yourself out. Do what it takes to make you feel complete. I am not here to complete you. I'm here to enjoy you and have you enjoy me.
Yeah.
So all the women in my world, whether they choose to go to bed with me or not, recognize that it's up to them to decide the degree to which they're going to enjoy me. And then it's up to me to decide the degree to which I'm going to enjoy them. And when it works out very well, we have a great time. And it doesn't matter how frequently it happens, doesn't matter when it happens. I treat all my female friends as though we are already lovers, on the basis that on a long enough timeline, it's very likely to be true. And it takes away all the urge to pretend to be any different than we actually are. I say this constantly. Treat every girl as though you're already sleeping with her, and pretty soon you will be.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I'm always happy to do interviews like this. I'm always happy to get a chance to share these things with people. All of my lectures are free and available. Go to johnnysoporno.com. You can find them. I give away my content because I'm hoping to live in a world that I would more enjoy being in than a world in which people continue to operate on the basis that if they don't follow the rules made by the wealthy and powerful and religious elite to keep lesser men from stealing their women, and that's the entire purpose to pretty much all of the codes under which we live.
All right, Johnny. Thank you for coming on.
Every time I shake your hands, I want to count my fingers to make sure that.
Thanks for coming on, Johnny. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, guys, there you have it. If you want to learn more about what Johnny does, head on over to successfulness.com. And again, if this is your first time on the channel, hit subscribe, give us a like, and leave any sort of comment you desire underneath. All right, guys, thanks a lot.